What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder. I'm your host, Warren, and we have some really cool news to talk about today. We knew Avengers Secret Wars was just going to be packed with cameos. At least that's what we're hoping for, and it just makes sense. And we've heard a ton of reports about iconic characters returning for Secret Wars. Not only returning, but teaming up with other returning characters as well, and of course, with our new Avengers team. And people are really looking forward to these interactions, like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man with Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. That's a big one. And of course, people are hoping for variants of our beloved Avengers who have passed away, or maybe have just gotten old and live on the moon now, looking at you, Captain America. People have been looking forward to these characters returning as variants, of course, not undoing the deaths, but returning as variants so they can interact with other characters that we haven't seen them interact with before, like Iron Man interacting with some X-Men characters. Same thing with Black Widow, same thing with Captain America. Plus, it would be really cool to see the Hulk interact with Wolverine. And since we've heard Hugh Jackman's Wolverine is going to be in Avengers Secret Wars, and we are assuming the Hulk is going to be in Avengers Secret Wars, we're really looking forward to that. And it also sounds like we're going to get Hugh Jackman's Wolverine and Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man in Secret Wars. In fact, according to a recent report, this is the only way that he'll actually return for Secret Wars. Of course, he's returning for Deadpool 3, but apparently to get him to stick around for Secret Wars, he told Marvel that he'll return and he'll appear in the movie, but only if he gets to interact with Tobey Maguire and Robert Downey Jr. Now, this is part of what we talked about before. Part of this report/rumor has been out for a long time. We've been hearing for a while now that two of the leads for Avengers Secret Wars were going to be Hugh Jackman's Wolverine and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. Of course, they're not going to be the only leaders, but two of the many leaders I'm sure we'll have. Also, remember to keep in mind, it's probably not just one team in one universe fighting Kang. There probably are going to be multiple teams in multiple different universes fighting multiple different Kangs. So many leaders, many different teams, and many amazing characters we'll get to see. So we've heard the first part of this report before, but we didn't know that this might have been a condition for Hugh Jackman's return. Him interacting with Tobey Maguire plus Robert Downey Jr. It was a condition, according to the insider My Time to Shine Hello, who tweeted out yesterday. Hugh Jackman told Marvel he will return for Secret Wars, but only if he'll get to interact with Tobey and Robert Downey Jr. Now, we pretty much already knew that they were going to bring back a variant of Iron Man, and he was going to be played by Robert Downey Jr., and he would interact with other characters. Again, this just makes sense, and it would be a huge missed opportunity if they didn't do this. And it would make for some pretty great interactions, and ones that I'd be very interested to see, like Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man interacting with Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Tom Holland's Spider-Man would obviously recognize Tony Stark, his mentor, and somebody that he loved, and I'd be curious to see if Tony Stark recognized him. Maybe in his universe, he lost Spider-Man, and maybe he looked just like Tom Holland's Spider-Man, and maybe they have a really touching and pretty epic moment when they see each other. Who knows? A lot is possible. And it totally makes sense that Hugh Jackman would want to interact with Robert Downey Jr., interact with Tobey Maguire. He never got a chance to. The multiverse was not a thing in the X-Men films or in the Spider-Man films. And now that it is a thing, Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark, that is gone. And Hugh Jackman and Tobey have returned. And now they get to appear together. Two of the most iconic Marvel characters of all time, played by two of the most iconic actors, they're returning. So don't you think they'd want another Marvel legend to return and interact with them as well in the form of Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man? See, here's the deal. I don't think Hugh Jackman came in and was like, hey, I'm only going to come back if this happens. I'm only coming back if I could talk to Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark at some point in time in Secret Wars. I don't think that's what happened. In fact, I think this was actually part of Marvel Studios' plan, a specific plan by Kevin Feige. I'll explain what I mean in just a bit, but first, big thank you to Fume for sponsoring this video. Honestly, I just sit here like all day and I just fidget with this. I turn it because it clicks. It goes in like, all day when I'm recording, when I'm watching YouTube videos, whatever it is, I just fidget with this all day and I love it for some reason. Fume is a game changer for a lot of people in turning bad habits into good habits. A lot of people struggle with these bad habits, but Fume looks at these in a different way. Not everything in the habit is wrong. So instead of a drastic uncomfortable change, why not just remove the bad from your habit? And that's exactly what Fume does. They're innovative and they're award-winning and they're a flavored air device. That's all it is. It's flavored air. So it has none of the bad things and the bad habit in it. Instead of vapor, it uses flavored air. Instead of electronics, Fume is completely natural. And instead of harmful chemicals, Fume uses delicious flavors. I had actually heard really great things about Fume from my friends who were struggling with some bad habits. They actually raved about it and how it helped them, which is why I agreed to partner with them. And they sent me some samples and they honestly are super refreshing and taste very flavorful and good. And it comes in beautiful real wood, and it's honestly really fun to just sit there and kind of fidget with if you're someone who likes to fidget like I do. And I know stopping is something we all put off because it's hard, but with Fume, it's easy, and they have served over 150,000 customers and have thousands of success stories. So if you want help in kicking your addiction and you want to support the channel, you can head over to tryfume.com/cosmic for 10% off the Journey Pack. That's tryfume.com, tryfum.com, and use code COSMIC for 10% off the Journey Pack. So Hugh Jackman originally said that he wasn't going to return as Wolverine, that in Logan, when his character died, he said goodbye to the character, and that was it for him. He hung up his claws. But here's the thing, Patrick Stewart also said that about Professor Xavier, that when the character died, he said goodbye to the character. But essentially what they both were saying was they didn't want to undo the death of their characters, but now that the multiverse exists and there are variants, they'll come back. Patrick Stewart came back, Hugh Jackman is coming back, and they both said they wouldn't. But that's why when Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman first came out and said, hey, I'm returning for Deadpool 3, Wolverine's back, they specifically mentioned that they are not touching Logan and they are not going to undo that death, which of course they're not going to do. We're going to see many different variants of Wolverine in Deadpool and Wolverine. However, at first, I bet Hugh Jackman was just coming back for Ryan Reynolds. You know, Ryan Reynolds, one of Hugh Jackman's best friends, was constantly and consistently begging Hugh Jackman to return for a Deadpool film now that Ryan Reynolds is a proper Deadpool. And I think what changed his mind is the fact that Deadpool 3 would now be in the MCU once the Disney Fox deal got done.
But we did have one idea. Hey Hugh, you want to play Wolverine one more time?
Yeah, sure, Ryan.
So Hugh Jackman came back and said, yeah, I can be a variant of Logan, a variant of Wolverine, and I can act with my best friend in a funny and epic movie. And here's the cool thing, which is where I believe this new report is coming from. Reportedly, from many different insiders, when Kevin Feige read the script for Deadpool 3, when he saw some of it on film, when he was there watching it being recorded, he was blown away. So why wouldn't you want Deadpool and Wolverine to be in Avengers Secret Wars? Plus, not to mention, other reports that we have heard said that Secret Wars will be kind of a send-off, a farewell for Kevin Feige and the old X-Men and Marvel characters. Because remember, Kevin Feige was there since the beginning, since the first X-Men film. He worked on those films, on X-Men, on all of the X-Men films, on Spider-Man, the old Punisher, Daredevil. You get where I'm going with this. He basically has worked with Marvel kind of since the beginning, since the first X-Men film. So he has worked with all of these what we call Marvel legacy actors and characters before in the past, and he got really close with them. So if Secret Wars is going to be sort of a send-off to them, a love letter, a farewell to them, it would make sense that he would include Iron Man in there as well. So I believe that this was already a part of his plan. He wanted Wolverine to be in Secret Wars so he could also say farewell to him with Iron Man, with Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, and also Tom Holland's Spider-Man, and really everyone. Kevin Feige is smart. He knows that that will sell. He knows that that will make this movie incredible. So I believe this was kind of a joking matter. I believe that Kevin Feige went to Hugh Jackman and said, I need you in Secret Wars. You have to be in the film, even if it's just for a little bit, but I have to have you interacting with Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man, with Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. I need you there. And that, I think, would be, of course, very appealing to anybody, but of course, specifically to Hugh Jackman. And I think he went, okay, yeah, deal. If you do that, I'm in for Secret Wars. That's just how I imagine it went down because, again, we know Kevin Feige's plans. We know what he wants to do. And it really would be foolish to not include Wolverine and Deadpool and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man and bring back Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man and Captain America. It would be foolish not to have all of these characters together on screen for the big finale, for the big farewell for for the big send-off. It really would be such a wasted opportunity. And who knows, some of these characters might not even get along at first. They might get to fight each other, which would just be beyond epic. Can you imagine a Tobey Maguire versus Deadpool, a Wolverine versus Iron Man? Even if it's just for 30 seconds, we would lose our minds. So this was absolutely a part of Kevin Feige's plan, and I think Hugh Jackman just thought it was the best thing ever and went, yeah, of course, if you're gonna let me interact with these guys, of course I'll be in Avengers Secret Wars. Because after that, he gets to be done. He gets to do Deadpool and Wolverine, then he gets to do Secret Wars, and then he can really hang up the claws. So either way, I'm super excited to see Hugh Jackman's Wolverine interact with Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man and Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man. That's gonna be epic, but let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can stay up to date on all the latest MCU news. Don't forget to like the video, and if you subscribe and leave a comment, you're automatically entered in our giveaway for a chance to win an Xbox Series X, a PS5, and some Marvel Legends items. The winner picks one item, and we pick one winner at the end of each month. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter, and as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.